Hello everybody, this is Albert with Green Tea House. I hope you're doing well today. Today I'm going to endeavor in 5 minutes to tell you the fundamental differences between Chinese and Japanese green tea. Now before I begin, I recommend you check out our back catalog of episodes, and as always, if you appreciate my content, please subscribe if you haven't done so already and hit the notification button, and of course go visit Green Tea House. So, Japanese and Chinese green teas, these of course are the most famous green teas that are produced in the world. If you had to guess which of these countries produces more green tea, the answer is China by far. China is the main producer of tea and exporter of tea in the world. It makes close to 50% of all the tea in the world. So China makes 8 times more green tea than Japan. Japan pretty much monopolizes green tea. Like in Japan, green tea is the bomb, so to speak, whether it be matcha, gyokuro, genmaicha, sencha, whatever it is. Whereas in China, they grow all 6 categories of tea. So let's look at the similarities first. Similarity number 1, they're green tea. So what does that mean? So when you look at the 6 categories of tea, each of the categories of tea is made in a different way. They're all made from the Camellia sinensis plant, but they're all manipulated in a different way to make that type of tea. So the similarity between these two is that they're green teas and that they're going to be plucked. Typically, it's going to be the first harvest of the season, so it's going to be a lot of buds and early bloom, so to speak. They're going to pluck them and then they're going to kill green them. Then they're going to roll them. Then they're going to dry them. Then they're going to ship them. That's it. So green tea, and I'll put a banner up here, what is green tea, and some other episodes that are related to green tea, is the least manipulated out of all the teas. Okay. So what are the differences? There's a lot of differences. So I think in Japan's green tea, and I have pictures of each. So I'm going to take a picture. This is a sencha, and we're juxtaposing it, to use the SAT word, with a dragon well, Longjing from China, from Westlakes. So these are 2 different types of green teas. I would say in Japan, the production of green tea is more industrialized, and that's not a bad thing, but it's more industrialized, but therefore it's more consistent, so you're going to have more of a consistency of quality. In China, it's going to be more hand-picked and less industrialized, and therefore you're going to have more, I guess you could say, gradations. You're going to have some really amazing green teas, and then you might have some garbageier green teas. Japan is much more streamlined, consistent. It's important to have consistency. That's one thing. I think another thing is, if you look in China, they are much more on their green tea wanting to have lower volume of water to higher ratio of leaves. So a lot more leaves than a typical serving, but with lower water. A lot of this has to do with the Gung Fu style of the way they do their tea. Japan, it's not so much. They're going to do more of like what we would perceive to be a typical ratio. Now, how they kill green it, because that's the thing about green tea that makes green tea, is that they pluck it, then they got to kill green it so there's no oxidization, is different. In Japan, they are going to steam it. In China, they're going to fire it up, pan fire or bake it or something like that. Both of them kill green to 0% oxidation, so they're both pure green teas. They just do it in a different way, and because they do it in a different way, the taste is going to be different. So let's get to the most important part, the taste and the look. So this is a sencha. This is a dragon well. You can tell, maybe not because of the video here, Japanese green teas tend to have a more vibrant color, a vibrant liquor, or liqueur, if you want to say it the European way. It has a more like a fluorescently green color as opposed to the Chinese green. The other thing is, and I think this is the best way to summarize the differences, Japanese green tea is more robust. It's amped up. It's like steroided up. And they do this a lot pre-plucking. So we've talked about in the episode on gyokuro and the episode on matcha, how they will shade these plants 2 weeks or so before they pluck them. And that increases the chlorophyll in it, and that increases the caffeine in it, and that increases the robust taste in it. Whereas with the Chinese green tea, they're going to manipulate it more after the plucking when they are baking it. But I would say in short, Japanese green tea is more flavorful, but in a different way. Like the Japanese flavor is going to be more vegetal. It's going to be more herbal, herbaceous. Chinese green teas, I think, is more like natural tasting, subtle. Chestnut is normally the adjective that's used to describe it. Like when I drink Dragon Well, I think more of like butter flavor. Some people would say it's like a bean flavor for Longjing. I kind of see it as like a buttery texture, but it's more natural, more subtle, more rocky, more organic. I know these adjectives really don't make sense, but you just gotta drink a lot of these to understand. Whereas Japanese tea is like roided up Hans and Franz, very stronger on the caffeine, I should mention as well, because they shade it, stronger on the color, stronger on the taste, more vegetal. This is more chestnutty. This is more like I'm on the ocean. This is more like I'm from the earth. So those are the main differences. They're both awesome. I would tell you probably health-wise, health-related, green tea is the most healthy tea. I would say Japanese green tea is a little healthier because of the fact that they shade it, but they're both very healthy for you, and I recommend that you drink quite a bit of it. A good entry point for Chinese green would be like gunpowder. A good entry point for Japanese green would be sencha, and then a high-end Chinese green would be Longjing or Dragon Well, and a high-end Japanese green tea would be Gyokuro, and we sell all 4 of these. Guys, post in the comments. I'd love to hear from you. Which do you prefer, Chinese or Japanese green tea, or both? Until next time, take care and God bless.